Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are re-diving deep into one of the most famous and intriguing stories from ancient texts, the Tower of Babel. It's a tale about ambition, unity, and a divine intervention that supposedly changed the course of human history forever. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's journey back to the plains of Shinar. Our story begins in a time long past, shortly after the Great Flood. The world was different then. Imagine this. Everyone on Earth spoke the same language. There were no barriers, no misunderstandings, no need for translation apps. All of humanity was a single, unified community, sharing a common vocabulary and a common purpose. It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? A world where communication was seamless. As the population grew, people began to migrate. A large group journeyed eastward and discovered a vast, fertile plain in a land called Shinar, which we now associate with ancient Mesopotamia in modern-day Iraq. This place was perfect. It was flat, open, and ideal for building a new civilization. So, they settled there, laying the foundations for what they hoped would be a great society. Living on this plain presented a new challenge. Like the mountainous regions they might have come from, there wasn't much stone for building. But these were innovative and resourceful people. They looked at the clay beneath their feet and had a brilliant idea. A voice likely rose from the crowd saying, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." This was a significant technological advancement. Instead of relying on natural stone, they would manufacture their own building materials, strong, durable, fire-baked bricks. And for mortars to bind the bricks together, they used tar or bitumen, which was readily available in that region. They were creating a new kind of architecture, one born from ingenuity. With their new technology and a shared sense of purpose, their ambition grew exponentially. It wasn't enough just to build homes and a functional settlement. They wanted to create a monument to their own greatness. The idea spread like wildfire. "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens." This wasn't just about shelter. This was about making a statement. They wanted to build a structure so tall that it seemed to touch the sky, a symbol of their power, their unity, and their ability to conquer any challenge. But why? What was the driving force behind this colossal undertaking? The text gives us a clear motive, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered across the face of the entire earth. There are two key things here. First, the desire for fame and reputation. They wanted to be remembered forever. They weren't building for God. They were building for their own glory. The tower was a monument to humanity's achievement. Second, and perhaps more importantly, was a deep-seated fear of being scattered. They wanted to stay together, to consolidate their power and identity in one central location. They were actively resisting the divine instruction given earlier to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Instead of spreading out, they chose to huddle together, united by their own ambition. So, the work began. Imagine the scene. Thousands of people working in unison, a symphony of coordinated effort. The kilns are firing, bricks are being passed from hand to hand, and slowly, day by day, the city and its magnificent tower begin to rise from the plain. The ziggurat-like structure climbs higher and higher, a testament to what a unified humanity could achieve. From the ground, it must have looked like they were truly building a stairway to heaven. Their project seemed to be a resounding success, a physical manifestation of their collective will. But this grand project did not go unnoticed. The story takes a dramatic turn. The Lord, as the narrative describes, came down to see the city and the tower that the people were building. This is a very anthropomorphic image, God descending from the heavens to inspect humanity's work. And what he saw troubled him. It wasn't the tower itself that was the problem, but the spirit behind it. The Lord observed their unity and their boundless ambition, and he said, "If as one people all sharing a common language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be beyond them." This is a powerful statement. It's an acknowledgement of humanity's incredible potential when united. But in this context, it's a potential that's being misused. Their goal was self-glorification, a direct challenge to divine authority. They were trying to reach heaven on their own terms, to make themselves like gods. This hubris, this prideful ambition, was seen as a dangerous path. If they could achieve this, what would they attempt next? The project represented a rebellion born of pride. So, a divine decision was made. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they one to be able to understand each other. Notice the plural, let's, which has led to much theological debate, some interpreting it as the royal we, or a conversation within the Holy Trinity. The solution was not to destroy the tower with fire or an earthquake, but to dismantle the very foundation of their unity, their shared language. The tool that enabled their great work would now become the instrument of its downfall. The divine intervention was immediate and chaotic. Imagine one moment you're asking your coworker for more tar, and the next moment he's speaking a completely different language. The words coming out of your own mouth are suddenly foreign to the person standing right next to you. Communication breaks down instantly. Frustration mounts. Anger and confusion replace the spirit of cooperation. A simple request for a brick could be met with a blank stare, or a response in a language you've never heard. The project grinds to a halt. The symphony of construction turns into a cacophony of chaos. The unity is shattered. The outcome was inevitable. The Lord scattered them from there across the face of the entire earth. Their greatest fear had become a reality. The very project they built to prevent being scattered became the direct cause of it. Forced apart by their inability to communicate, people naturally gravitated towards those they could understand. Small groups, now speaking new, distinct languages, began to migrate away from Shinar, seeking new lands to settle. The great unified civilization was no more. They abandoned their ambitious project, and the construction of the city stopped. And the place was given a name that would serve as a permanent reminder of what happened there, Babel. The name itself is a play on words in Hebrew. It sounds like the Hebrew word balal, which means to confuse or to mix up. So, the city of Babel became known as the city of confusion because there the Lord confused the language of the entire world. From this single point, the story explains. Humanity was dispersed across the globe, leading to the diverse cultures and languages we see today. The half-finished tower stood as a silent, crumbling monument to the dangers of pride and the consequences of defying the natural order of things. So, what are the takeaways from this ancient story? The Tower of Babel serves as a powerful cautionary tale about human pride, or hubris. It suggests that when ambition is driven by a desire for self-glorification rather than a higher purpose, it can lead to downfall. It's also a foundational myth that explains the origin of different languages and the dispersion of peoples across the earth. It frames cultural and linguistic diversity not as an accident, but as a direct result of a divine act designed to check human arrogance. But we can also look at it through a more modern lens. The story highlights the incredible power of communication and unity. When people can understand each other and work together, their potential is limitless. Conversely, it shows how a breakdown in communication can lead to division, conflict, and the collapse of even the most ambitious projects. In our own interconnected world, where we still struggle with language barriers and cultural misunderstandings, the story of Babel feels surprisingly relevant. It reminds us of the importance of clear communication, humility, and finding a common purpose that transcends our own self-interest. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the Tower of Babel. It's a story that has fascinated people for millennia, and it continues to offer rich layers of meaning. What do you think? Is it a literal account of history, or a powerful allegory about the human condition? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into ancient stories and myths. We'll see you in the next video.